Welcome to Movie Date with Jess and Kait. I'm Jess.
I'm Kait.
And thanks for coming to our little date. We are a couple who loves movies and loves each other. So we're going to be picking out some movies to watch together on a little date and then recapping them with you all. But today our date is even spicier because we've added a third. The beautiful Corin Wells!
I'm a little unicorn. Hi, guys.
I'm a little unicorn.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
We know Corin from way back in the day, Philly doing comedy, and now we all live out here in LA. And
Right
we
down
get
the
to,
street.
oh yeah, and we
Yeah.
get to watch movies together.
It's so great.
And for this episode, Corin has picked The Craft.
I did.
Why did you pick this one for us to watch?
Because it's I don't know, I love witches. It's a really good one. I gave 3 options and one was too scary. And
And you can never know what that one
no,
was.
I won't tell you because they still might do it. And then the other one, because you guys already did like a more kid style one. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
we could still do that one.
Yeah,
though,
let's
if you
just
wanna
do
come
them
back.
all.
yeah.
It would be fun.
Absolutely.
If you want.
And you guys can't know yet. You'll know when
It's
I
a
come
secret. That's a
Surprise.
little secret surprise.
back. Yes.
What's your relationship to this movie? Did you watch it a lot, or like you saw it when you were a kid, when you were an
I
adult?
saw it when I was a kid because
Yeah.
my grandma. I have 2 older brothers. My grandma would just like buy us movies, so we just had a shit ton of movies. And I remember watching The Craft with my grandma when it came out, and I was just like, "This is the coolest thing ever."
What was your grandma's reaction to it? Yeah. Movies are movies.
These are movies. Like she loves horror or loved horror stuff. And I think she passed that down to my mom, who passed it down to me. It's weird because like I grew up very Christian, so like we didn't celebrate Halloween, but we would watch scary movies.
What's
and that I appreciate.
What scary movies? Like, can you think of ones offhand that are like one go-tos for your grandma and for your mom?
Well, for my grandma, we watched a lot of Tales from the Crypt together.
Oh
That's
my
great.
God.
Yeah. Because she
He scared me, and now watching him as an adult, I'm like, oh, he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, he's a Muppet.
he's just like,
He's like, yeah.
and the jokes that he made were so bad.
Yeah, they're just
yeah.
silly.
For those who don't know, we're speaking of the Crypt Keeper, a famous keeper of crypts who was on HBO.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
the host of
Mhm.
had different
It was like
scary
little
stories.
mini movies.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'll see if you go back and watch some, you'll see some recognizable faces. I remember the Demi Moore one.
Yeah.
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 There's the
Like-
Tim Curry one where he plays like 3 characters.
Let's get into The Craft. This is from 1996. It has a lot of the same actors as you would see in a lot of teen movies then, but in particular, Nev Campbell
Yeah.
and Skeet Ulrich.
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 Mhm.
From Scream, and I looked it up. This movie came out first. This was May 1996, and then that was December 1996.
Okay.
Just it felt important to me.
Yeah.
And they don't really have any like scenes together in this in The Craft.
Not really.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they exchanged 2 words in this
No.
movie.
She's such a quiet character in the beginning
in
too.
the
I guess it's
beginning.
like
Well, that's how she acts.
yeah. Yeah.
She's just a quiet actress.
That's what we
Yeah.
kept saying, that like her face is loud and her voice is quiet. She's saying a lot with the eyes.
so much with her eyes.
Yeah.
And those slightly parted lips.
Oh yeah.
That was big back then. I remember trying to get my mouth to be a little bit open because I would see, do you know what I'm talking about? Like a little like
when they do light as a feather, stiff as a board, that's
Yeah.
they're all doing it.
Yeah.
They're
Oh,
all
yeah.
doing like slightly parted.
It's
It's like model.
sexy baby model.
Sexy baby.
Yeah. Well, our other so The Craft is about a group of teen girls who are a coven of witches and the problems that arise because of that.
Mhm.
It has Rachel True as Rochelle, Nev Campbell as Bonnie, Robin Tunney as Sarah, who
Tooney, I
is
think?
Tooney as our lead girl, and then Faruja Bulk. Am I saying her name right?
Yeah, right. For
As Nancy.
Yeah.
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 She's so
And
good.
she is really this. for
A
me, the
star.
star of the show.
Yeah.
She,
She's
I
the
think,
star.
makes the whole movie.
Yeah.
She's just unhinged, but in a way that feels appropriate
Mhm.
and like angsty and
Mhm.
chaotic to watch. Like she is scary. Even
Yeah.
watching it now, you're like, if you met this girl and she was wielding knives and doing the shit that she's doing, you'd be like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can almost like justify how crazy she is
Oh
by her home life.
yeah.
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 It like makes sense.
Yeah.
It feels like
That
earned.
scene where she's like laying on her bed and the water's just dripping on her
Yeah.
head. Like as a child, I didn't have the perspective, but as an adult, I'm like, get her out of
Yeah.
there.
I was like, there must
Yeah.
be like a CPS kind of
Yeah.
situation.
As a kid, there's just like good girls and bad girls, and
Yeah.
you could tell she was a bad girl because of how she dressed and acted.
Mhm.
So you're like,
Well,
oh
she
no,
was,
she's.
yeah,
But yeah, as an
God.
adult, you realize all the complexities of their stories.
Yeah.
Okay, so we open on some witchy stuff. There's candles, crystal balls, sage. It's like a LA girl's dream.
Yeah.
I feel like I know like 10 people who
I know. I
are
was like, a
doing
normal
that right
living
now.
room.
Yeah.
Listen,
Yeah.
man, 1,000%. If you walk into my apartment right now, my dog is
Yeah.
Summoning you
paw.
back.
It's like covered.
like, where is she?
Yeah.
They're chanting, they're doing their magic thing. We're seeing flashes of like tarot cards and kind of like evilly witchy looking stuff.
Yeah.
Then we cross the desert, we go into the sky, there's a plane, and we see Sarah and her family, and they're like landing in LA. We've got some very 90s rock music playing as the taxi takes them to their gorgeous Tuscan mansion.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
$4 million house in the hills.
During a torrential downpour
Yeah.
in Los Angeles.
It's monsoon season in LA.
This whole movie is the rainy, it likes record-setting rain in LA.
Was.
Every other day, it's like Manon is making it like lightning storm.
so much. And like especially like watching it right now because like we have not seen a lick of rain
No.
since truly February.
Yeah.
So I'm like, where is that? That's not
There'll
real.
be a day where maybe it rains like that out of the year.
If
But
I
this
see like
movie, it's
dew
like,
on my car in the morning, I'm like, rain.
ooh.
Yeah.
So they're getting set up in their new house. She's there with her dad, and then we learn stepmom because as she's upstairs unpacking, she has a black and white photo of a beautiful woman that she lovingly places on a dresser. So we know this woman is toast. She's dead.
Mhm. She's
Um,
past.
Yeah. Wistful.
She's it looks beautiful and serene.
I'm like, did your dad take that? It looks nice.
He's good. Well, he's a photographer. That's how he bought this expensive house.
Yeah, fucking Ansel Adams.
She goes back downstairs to grab some more stuff, and then a random man just appears in her doorway, soaking wet, holding a snake.
Yeah. And he says, doesn't he say like, I found this or something like that? And she gets scared.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Understandably.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think he said. Yeah. No, he didn't. He didn't say I had a dream about you yet.
No,
Yeah.
he says it later though.
Spoiler, they
Yeah.
meet again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's
She's-
like,
Yeah, screaming,
Yeah.
freaking out. The dad's like, get out of here.
Yeah.
They're
Scram,
up like a big driveway too, and there's hedges all around. So this guy had to like run up the Hollywood Hills.
That's what everyone
with the snake.
Everyone who lives in the hills, this is their exact nightmare. They're like, this is the scariest part of the film.
We thought we got far enough away.
We have private security for a reason.
They're never far enough
They're
away.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Sarah.
people?
Yeah. Well, no,
Okay.
no, from us.
Oh, as a
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or but those beneath them. Hey, I'm hoping to be rich one day. I can't talk too much.
Oh my
shit on
God.
Yeah, many
That's
rich people are
the
watching.
correct.
it.
Rich people are watching.
Hey, we're wanting to.
We also want to.
Birthday parties. Okay, so she's at school, and we know she's just the mousiest little girl because her hair's a little frizzy. She's holding her book real tight.
Yeah.
Uh,
Instead of one of the hottest people you've ever seen.
Yeah, a face is
All four
absolutely
of them.
gorgeous, but it means nothing because she's a little hunched
Yeah,
over.
That's always the
so-
hard thing. I mean, you suspend your disbelief when you watch a movie, but when you see like four very hot young women You're like, you guys
You're
can't get picked on that much.
Yeah.
It can't be that
Yeah.
bad.
And also, I didn't buy that she was mousy because like any girl that wears their hair to the side like that
Mhm.
in that way, you're spicy.
And she's got the volume.
So much
the
volume.
She's got the volume
It's the
so
volume.
much.
She has
If
gorgeous.
it were flat, it'd be a different thing.
Yeah.
Which is wild because this is the same woman in Empire Records who
Yeah.
then shaves her
Shaves her
hair.
Yeah.
What
Did
a head
Empire
hair
Records
to
come out
shave.
after?
Caitlin.
I'm sorry. I'm
If
sorry.
I come out of my notes, I'll never know how
Leave
to
it
get
in the
back.
comments.
Hold on, I'll look it up.
When
I'll look it up.
Empire
You
Records
have to
Records
keep going.
researcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While we're researching, of course we get our classic 90s bad girls walking down the hallway. So Mousie's
Yeah.
coming one way, bad girls are like, slow-mo down the other.
Well,
The boys see them, they're kind of teasing them and like being like, oh, we're so afraid, and you girls are like creepy and gross. Brecken Meyer is there of
Because
Clueless
he's always
fame.
there.
He's always there.
Literally,
always
he's
there.
transferred the school from Clueless to this school. The character is.
I love him as a little like side character in like all
I mean,
the
he's so
best
good.
girl movies.
Yeah.
And Josie and the Pussycats, he's also in the boy band.
That's
Yeah.
right,
And he's incredible. He's so
Yeah.
funny in that. He's great.
I mean, he's
funny in this, even though he's a piece of shit.
He's a piece of shit, but
Yeah.
he is the comedic relief.
He
the
is,
comic
yeah,
relief.
unfortunately.
Empire Records came out in 95.
95.
Wow.
Is this a wig in the craft, do you think?
There were a few times where I was like, this might be a
This
wig.
might be a wig.
Whoa.
And it
Yeah.
might be.
That never
but she
crossed
couldn't
my
have.
mind.
I guess she did really shave her head. And
Well, what makes it stand out is when they do the blonde thing.
Mhm.
And like how I was looking at like the
hairline.
and it's so similar to the brown hairline that I'm like, the brown hair might be a wig too.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
All right, let's look that up. Okay.
This is a pop-up video. This is a wig.
The first is Robin Tooney is Robin Tooney Catholic.
Well,
Okay.
is she?
I
Don't keep us waiting.
What parish is Robin Tooney?
She was raised Irish Catholic.
There we go. And they are at a Catholic school. So we should also mention now what we're talking about them walking about. They look incredible in every shot of this film. It's studded chokers and lots of chains.
Yeah.
Like little kind of Catholic schoolgirl, but gone bad, the knee highs. And each of them has like their own little vibe of it.
Yeah. You never went to like did you go to a religion, you didn't go to Catholic school, but it is a wig?
It's a wig.
Wow. Our expert.
Wow. Yeah.
It's a wig.
You were like spotted.
She wore an auburn wig throughout filming because she shaved her head for a role in Empire Records.
Incredible.
Wow.
Incredible. Damn. This is the DVD commentary.
This is a great wig.
It was a really good one.
Yeah.
I went to a private Christian school, not Catholic. It was very different from Catholic.
Did you have a uniform?
Had a uniform. It was
Plaid
very
skirt?
cute. Plaid skirt or
Oh,
kilt. We had both.
Okay.
Oh.
We had like sports in high school. It was
thank
rough.
God we didn't do
It was rough.
That would have been so bad.
It sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we had like, it was actually really cute. Like it was gray with like blue, like fine blue lines for the check patterns, and then dark blue or white polo.
So cute.
It was so cute.
Sweater?
Oh.
Yeah, a
Cute.
navy blue sweater.
Would you do button up? Did you vest?
So on Wednesdays when we had chapel, we had to wear our button ups with
like a
with
cardigan.
They were
Okay.
A few girls did V-neck pullovers.
Yeah, V-neck pullovers was the big
Yeah.
one for my school.
It wasn't standard, but a few girls were like, "We'll just get Life Center embroidered into it, and we'll."
Oh, they're like
do it."
custom jobs.
Yeah. Well, they were like we did Flynn and O'Hara.
Flynn and O'Hara.
That's
Yeah.
the place.
Yeah.
And they would like have the uniform.
That's where we would have to go
Yeah.
and get our uniforms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to like pull so far back into my brain for the name of that. place.
It all came back.
Yeah.
It just made me feel the feeling of having those like clodhopper like shoes on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No Mary Janes. I never did Mary Janes.
No. So we weren't as like strict with our shoes. So
Yeah.
I wore Tim's with mine.
That's incredible.
Yeah. I was like, I'm gonna be different.
That's awesome
I'll
though.
wear Tim's.
Mine were it was Flynn and O'Hara situations.
Yeah. I think like maybe
chunkers.
the year after I graduated, they got more strict.
Mm.
But yeah.
They were like, well, she was too cool.
Yeah.
You gotta let her
It
graduate.
was too cool.
She's too cool.
Anyway, that's
And that's the history of our school uniform.
Well, outfits are very important.
Yeah, in this movie, yeah.
yeah. And the way that they made those outfits their own, like suspenders, when the black woman, what was her name?
Rochelle.
Like she had suspenders and like a short sleeve polo.
Yeah, so cute.
And I was like, that's adorable.
She's
yeah.
they're all so cute in the movie.
Yeah.
So where are we? We're in French class and everybody is speaking the teacher's just speaking French nonstop.
The closed captions did nothing.
Yeah.
Speaking French.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just gonna use context clues.
I was like, where's Muzzy when I need him?
And dude, so it was
Just do that.
yes, that's French they're speaking. Skeet sees Skeet, also known as Chris. I'll probably mix those two up, but
honestly, I'll
Skeet
only say Skeet.
is Chris.
Yeah.
Sees Sarah and is like, oh, the new girl, kind of like eyeing her up.
What's Skeet short for? Skeeter?
I hope so.
I hope
It might just be Skeet.
All right,
It's unfortunate.
yeah, it's rough.
Brecken
Oh,
refers
Skeet,
to
Skeet.
Sarah as having a snail trail in the middle of class, and the teacher says nothing.
He might say something, we just couldn't understand him.
Oh,
What
that's
is
true.
a snail trail?
I guess
like your
your
pussy.
pussy's
It-
like
oh,
leaving a snail
yeah.
trail.
Like if I guess you were on
Yeah.
the ground like a dog, like
I would assume your
Scooting.
chair, not
Oh,
on the
your
ground.
What?
I mean, I don't know. I've never really heard it in this context, except for somebody saying it jokingly that they were like turned on. I don't know who's. I don't know where I heard that.
I don't know.
I don't know who said it.
Vagina's leaking?
I guess so. Yeah,
Like
you're
it's
so wet.
That okay.
That much. If you're a slut. It's a really convoluted way to say you're like a fucking slut or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean the French.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
French.
So the teacher hopefully is
Teens in the 90s
telling
were
them-
inventive with their
Yeah, they were.
their insults.
Oh,
They
for
were.
sure.
Yeah.
Sarah is in the back of the class, kind of ignoring all that, and she's making her pencil stand upright and like it's slowly drilling
Rotating.
into the desk.
Yeah.
And Bonnie sees this and she's like, oh, like she must be a witch too. She should
Yeah.
join us. Oh, because earlier by the lockers, I think I forgot to mention, she was like, I was reading the almanac and it told me that we need to get a fourth witch. And Nancy's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
she's
Nancy's like, I'm gonna be
no,
on
the
series."
almanac said it. Somebody's coming today.
Yeah, she said, "Oh, I'm on the rag." or
Yeah.
whatever.
The rag. Written by two guys, I think, this movie.
Yeah,
Of
it
course.
was. Yeah. Then they're in science class. Sarah wants to sit with all them, but Nancy's like very aggressive towards her. She like doesn't really want to. She's got a big wall up, and she doesn't want to let her be a part of their crew.
Yeah. Understandably so. People rip on them in this school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Sarah then is feeling like a bit on the outs because now the boys are talking about her snail trail. The girls are, giving her, not letting her
Icing her
sit
out.
with them,
Yeah.
icing her out. So when she's out having lunch, Chris comes over and is like, hey, I'm sorry that my friends were jerks. And she's like, that's fine. Like, everyone's been a jerk to me, these girls too. And he's like, oh, those girls, they're the bitches of Eastwick. And then he explains what one of them is a major slut. One of them has birds all over her body. I don't think he says
He doesn't
what
say
And then
a
he
single
said-
word
He
about
does not acknowledge the black
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
for
He's like, end of
Yeah.
list.
Like, I don't register her in any way.
Fucking crazy.
And then he says to her, like, what are you doing after school? And she's like, taking it as like, oh, he must like me. So she's like, oh, nothing, like, da 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 da. And he's like, well, I'm busy. And then
What did it say?
Yeah.
it's just kind of
It's nagging. He's
Yeah.
nagging. Yeah.
he's very rude. He has football practice and she ends up going to it and kind of like peeps through the fence to look at him.
Yeah.
The girls, the witches, Nancy and the girls find her. And Rochelle apologizes for Nancy's behavior, but like Nancy's right there and doesn't
Mhm.
apologize.
Yeah.
Nancy kind of warns Sarah about Chris. He'll come on anything with tits. And then Bonnie's like, except for me. It's like,
Yeah.
I have burn scars
I have burns.
everywhere,
oh.
everywhere behind me.
Yeah, yeah.
Not my face.
Not my face or neck.
Not my arms, really.
Yeah.
It's very sad. She treats herself like she's so ugly and she's like very beautiful,
She's
obviously.
stunning.
Very, and like, yeah.
But I guess
And
that's,
it's
you
like,
know.
yes, of course, any teenage boy that would see her would be a fucking asshole about it.
Yeah.
But like,
Especially in the 90s, I guess it
Yeah.
was like, I don't know. Probably today too. I don't know.
I mean, teenagers.
Teenagers are just
Period.
mean.
I think it's just who they are.
Yeah.
And sorry to any teenagers who listen.
Sorry,
to this.
teens.
But like, I honestly ask yourself, when was the last time you were mean? And if it was today, then we're right.
Yeah.
Mm,
And be honest with yourself.
be honest.
Yeah.
So she's peeping in the football practice.
Mhm.
So then they're like, come with us to the witch store and we'll steal some stuff there. And she's like, okay, fine, well, I'll go.
Stealing. Cool.
Yeah,
Very
5-finger
cool.
discount, which
Cool.
was a big phrase, I feel like,
Yeah.
back
Yeah.
then. They walk into the store. As they're like walking there, they see scars on Sarah's arms from times that she's harmed herself. And this kind of almost endears Nancy to her because she can like relate to her
Yeah.
a little bit
And
more.
she did it the right way.
The right way.
Yeah. Anything like that just scared me a lot. I was like, no, that's
Yeah.
too much.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. I remember this movie, I think, being too scary for sure when I was a kid. Because if it came out in like 96, 97, it was just like too mature, the things that they were talking
Yeah.
about. And
Yeah.
I was just like, this is what high school's gonna be.
I would have been a little kid, but I think I was really, I don't know when I first saw this movie, but I might have been in high school already. And I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
This rules.
I probably saw
I
it when
saw
it
it as
came
a kid,
out.
yeah.
Yeah.
As a little kid?
Mhm.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
No
VHS.
regulations.
That's
Yeah,
crazy,
that's how our
man.
house was.
Yeah, they didn't give a shit.
No.
She went to all these crazy movies in the movie theater.
I love that's cool.
That's crazy.
It's really cool. We saw Braveheart. And then
That's
my
a
mom was
crazy
like,
movie for,
it's
You
educational.
were probably 4 years old when you were in the movie theater watching that. night.
No, I bet it was like 7 or 8. I was pretty
Yeah.
young
Little.
for sure to be seeing that.
Little.
All right. So these witches, they're in the witch shop. They notice that now they're more endeared to each other. They go into the witch shop, and the shop owner is this very like Stevie Nicks looking woman with like lots of drapey clothes on.
Yeah.
With an accent.
Yeah, she's got
Yeah.
an accent.
Whoa.
Sounds just like that.
Yeah.
She spots Sarah's ring and she's like, "Oh, are you a witch? Like, what's up with your ring?"
She said it's your mother's ring.
"Yeah, it's your
Yeah.
It
mother's
was your
ring." She
mother's.
knew that,
Yeah.
so she can sense some power.
So we
coming
know
from
that
this
she's,
ring.
and she's wearing like flowy white drapey clothes.
Yeah.
So you know that
Around a
she's
lot
in
of open flame.
dangerous.
So
Yeah.
much open
Dangerous
flame.
place.
Across the board in this film,
Yeah.
the fire marshal was like, "We all right, everybody, gather around."
If this wasn't the rainiest season in LA, there would have been a fire already.
We'd all be dead. They're like grabbing some stuff from the store. She tells her about like a red candle for love and like gives her a book to help her like learn more things about witch and witchcraft.
Yeah.
They leave the store, and the man from earlier who had the snake that busted into her house is now there in the street, and he's kind of like running after her, trying to warn her about something.
It's LA. You know how you just run into the same
Yeah.
people over and over and over again.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes that does happen. Yeah.
That's what I say. I was like, that's just your neighbor, and you gotta just get used to that guy. But she's just
Yeah.
like running away from him.
Yeah, he's screaming, "I had a dream about you. In my dream, you were dead."
Yeah.
She runs off. He runs into the street. So, of course, we know he's about to get smashed.
Well,
by-
all the girls are looking very intently at him, and you
Mhm.
get the impression that they are like willing him to be hit by a car.
Yeah, as if
Yeah,
this
and
guy is like
it's-
attacking or threatening her. So
Yeah.
they're like going to take care of
Yeah.
it.
Maybe one of the more graphic depictions of
A
someone
car
getting
accident.
hit by a car I've seen in cinema.
Have you seen the Meet Joe Black one?
No, I don't think I remember that one.
It's Brad Pitt. He walks on the road and he gets hit by a car once, and it's shocking like that. But then it flings him onto another car, which then flings it like he keeps flinging back and forth. Do you remember this? Look up Meet Joe Black Brad Pitt car. Trust me.
Yeah. You're gonna love it.
You're gonna like it. Yeah.
Yeah, they like show his like head getting run over by the.
It's horrible.
It's like, geez.
And the girls run away from it like,
yeah,
you did it. We're powerful.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The nastiest couch in the wood they run to.
That's what I kept saying. Yeah.
It was very like Are You Afraid of the Dark couch? And they're talking about their witchcraft, and Manon comes up, who is the god and the devil.
He's everything.
Nancy gets very intense when she speaks of Manon. And I love these moments in the film when she's kind of like, it's everything.
It's the sun. It's the ground.
She has like a slight lisp.
It is.
She's so who else has a lisp, but they're so fucking cool and scary. I can't think of a single other.
She has like the most expressive face.
Her eyes are so piercing.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And when like with the under eyeliner,
it
just makes them pop that much more.
It's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, she like the way that she explained it, she was like, if God and the devil are fighting in an arena, then Manon is the arena.
Yeah. Like the football field.
Talking to a team too, you're like,
yeah. But that's perfect. I think that's good writing to be like, make it be something that they've like have this reference point for.
Yeah.
And she's like really like, there's this like clip that goes around on Instagram of her like, she's like into it. Like Fairuza Balk was very into it when she was cast in this movie. Into like
I
Wicca.
love that.
Yeah.
You can tell.
Yeah. I mean, I think she's selling it. I think
she's so incredible.
And just for your listeners, when I heard the name Manon, it reminded me that there is a member of Cat's Eye, the K-pop group named Manon, and she's my least favorite. I said it.
Wow. You're saying a lot of out of control stuff.
Talking about their witchcraft, then Sarah brings up, they're kind of like, so how'd you get into it? What's your thing? And she's like, I don't even know. It just kind of happens. And she like tries to like make it rain, but then a pipe will burst. Like there's always like a little like mix up when
she can't really control it. She's very powerful.
The Amelia Bedelia of witches.
Yeah.
That's what
she's just having whoopsies.
And then Nancy just comes in hard with we should invoke Manon, which basically means like getting this powerful force to like come in and have.
She wants to go 0 to 60.
Yeah, and Sarah's like, okay, I'll think about it. Probably not today.
I did just watch a death.
I did. Yeah, we did just grieve some unhoused person. Sorry. Car cream. So Sarah is hanging with Chris on a roof. They're smooching. Yeah. They're having what seems to be a nice time. He's kind of pushing her, like, come home with me, but she's saying no. Mm-hmm. And he seems to be okay with it, but not like super happy. Back at school, the girls are asking about the date. And she's like, oh, like, what date? How do you even know I was on a date? And he's like, oh, because he told everyone that you two slept together last night. And Nancy's like, wow. Or Rochelle says that, oh, he did the same thing to Nancy.
Yeah.
So Sarah goes and confronts Chris. And he kind of publicly, she's like by the lockers, like, why are you saying this? And then he like loudly is like, ew, why are you trying to get with me? Just leave me alone. I'm like done being with you. Stop begging me. So he's being a total jerk.
Yeah.
Then we cut to Rochelle is on the swimming team. She's a diver. She's attempting to dive into the pool. And then we have our blonde mean girl,
Christine Taylor.
She's Lizzie, the mean girl at school. And as Rochelle is trying to dive, Lizzie and her friend are kind of like looking up, smirking and being mean, and then giggling. And then she screams shark as Rochelle dives in the pool, messing Rochelle up.
Yeah.
It's talented.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's really talented at diving.
She is, which we learn when she's finally not interrupted later.
Mm-hmm.
Then they're in the locker room. Marcia is looking at her brush and comments on Rochelle's hair being in it. Then she says something very offensive about Rochelle. I will not repeat.
Which is two very
Yeah.
terrible things. She's
Yeah.
like, well, at least one of my little, or like one of Rochelle's little naps or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's strike one. Mind you, Rochelle is
Very generous just to make it even a strike. You're like, hold on. You say 2 more things like that?
2 more. You
Not
got to
2 more.
start
Very forgiving.
Mind you, her hair is like not like every texture of hair is beautiful. Her hair is soft curls. Like it's 3B at most. So
She like shows her that she's like, it's 3B. She's like, yeah, I'm not about the nuance.
It's 3B.
Yeah.
And then she calls her a negroid, which is like so outdated in a way that is like comical to me.
Even for the 90s.
Even for the 90s. Because like it's like a quote unquote like technical term, but it's a made up technical term.
Yeah.
And it also was like on the census for a while, which is crazy. And I think some like job applications. But like what an insane
You get the
choice
sense that this is
for
like
a 90s teen
Yeah.
to pull that word out.
But I guess like the teens in this movie are mean as fuck.
They're
terrible.
too mean. I was too soft to watch this
Yeah,
film
I
as a
don't know
child.
because I think they're realistically mean for
oh,
a
for
lot of
sure.
the
That's
stuff.
why
It's like,
it's
they are
yeah.
too mean, but
I
it's
mean,
like
Gen
because
X
teens.
is a difference.
Yeah, they were like mean to each other.
Yeah, and they're
Yeah.
still kind
Yeah.
It's
They're
just-
mean now to me.
yeah.
Oh, and this is after she says that after Rochelle confronts her directly
Yeah,
and is
she's
like,
like,
what is your problem?
What did I do to you, basically? And
then
gives
she
her
says-
a really legit chance to be like, feel bad about this
She's
thing.
basically, I don't like you because you're black.
Yeah.
Totally.
And then walks out.
Nice.
Yeah. And her friends are just like,
and
yeah.
while she's swimming too, which I don't know if the directors intentionally when they cast this character
That felt like a chart, like a place to set it that was
Yeah.
like, you have this context.
It makes it even more like you're more protective of this person. You're like, yeah, they're in a space where they just need to be able to do their thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah. So in other horrible things, then we cut to Ned Campbell, Bonnie, who is at the hospital, and she's the one who has burns all over her body.
That never get explained.
Yeah, I don't know how they came to be. I would assume some accident, maybe when she
As
was
a kid
younger,
or something,
but yeah, in this sequence, we kind of see like what each girl's thing is that's like bothering them right now. So yeah, Nev is at the doctor's office with her mom, Bonnie, or she's Bonnie, not the mom. And she's like on a table, and the doctor's like just pushing little needles into the like
Yeah.
scars
It's like
all
a
over her
painful
back.
experimental procedure to try to get the scars to go.
And
away.
she's screaming, and the doctor's like, just chill out. It's
well, she
Fine.
sells
Off the
those dolls
bedside.
still. Yeah.
Only a few more minutes.
she's like
Meanwhile, it's
clutching
her
her mom's
whole
hand.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like a sewing machine.
Yeah. Like a
It
sewing machine.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anything with like hospital stuff, it made me think of this scene. I think it's in the extended Exorcist where they do like a ton of tests on her, and they have like needles in
Yeah.
what's the girl's name?
Reagan?
Right, yeah. That to me is so horrifying. Like
Yeah.
to do malpractice, not that these people were doing malpractice, but to harming people medically, especially young
In an
girls,
attempt
really
to
bothers
do
me.
in an attempt to
I know you two love
treat it. Yeah.
but it bothers
Not
me.
fluent.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, it's really scary.
Especially just like knowing that Western medicine is the Wild West.
Yeah.
And it started as a bunch of men just trying shit on people.
Yeah.
And it still feels that way sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my soapbox for the day.
That's true. It is.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
it is.
We have Sarah in bed, and she kind of gets a vision, right, of the time when she harmed herself, and we see blood and just like a callback to that moment. I don't think there's any like bugs or snakes though.
No, she
That's
just
later.
drinks a glass of water with
And
her.
it shatters.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then Nancy is walking in the rain home. to her trailer where her parents are fighting. Her mom is in
Her mom and her stepdad or
Yeah.
whatever.
mom and stepdad, yes.
Or her mom's boyfriend, I would assume.
Yeah. Well, I don't
Uh,
know. They got the
I guess they got the
policy,
settlement, yeah.
so,
So probably, yeah, maybe
Yeah.
they are married. Went to
Yeah.
Vegas,
yeah.
courthouse.
That was what we did.
you did like the mom's cat shirt.
Love the mom. I
Yeah.
love the mom the whole time.
She was dressing.
I love her
top-notch.
voice, like
Yeah.
her scratchy voice. I think
Mhm.
the actress does a great job.
Yeah, she's very like trashy mom from
Yeah,
the 90s movie.
She was great.
And becomes like a you girls can drink in the house kind of
Yeah,
later on, which we'll get to. Oh, but they're fighting back and forth, and Nancy's in the room smoking a cigarette, just trying to like drone this all out. Dad's like, or she's like, you can't pay the bills. What are you good for? And
Yeah.
the dad's like, oh, you know what I'm good
Oh, I know
for.
what I'm good for.
So
And
just
then I think they start smooching.
Yeah.
I think we
While Nancy's getting
Yeah.
water dropping on her
Yeah.
head and like in the fucking no power trailer
Yeah.
has to listen to her mom fuck this gross
cold
guy.
and like there's probably mold in her bed.
Sucks.
It's wet. Ugh,
She's
it
got a
smells so
bed.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. The girls are in school, but then Nancy's like, we're going on a field trip. We're like leaving school. They're kind of all giggling. They get on a bus, and I can remember this part vividly. There's like moments in this movie from the trailer that I remember very vividly.
Yeah.
And them just kind of all sitting on the bus with like their sunglasses and their really cool outfits, just like looking so like um laissez-faire, I guess. And then there's like little normal kids looking at them, and they're like giving him like a little face.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Nancy gives like the
Yeah.
little like
And then I think that's like the famous line where it's like,
Oh
"Be
yes.
careful, all those freaks out there. We are the freaks, mister."
yeah,
Yeah.
the weirdos.
I mean, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember that all the time when this
Yeah.
commercial came on. That was the line.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's a good one.
It's a
There's
great
a lot
line.
of good
And like how they're staged and like the shot coming out the bus door, it's brilliant.
it's perfect.
smells
It was
great.
made for a trailer for a film. And for a film. So they go to what looks pretty much like Griffith Park, and they do
Yeah. It is brilliant.
some chants and ceremonies. They're talking about the fire, the earth. They're like holding knives to each other's necks and then
Yeah.
kissing.
I said if these girls in high school came to me and asked me to do this, I would say yes. And you guys said no.
In high school, no.
No.
I
Now,
do it
no.
I
Now,
do,
no?
I do it now.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
go.
yeah, why not?
Bye, Jess.
Okay, fine. Well, I'll do something cool here all by myself.
You'll bind us.
Yeah.
I bind you.
I find them from not being mean when they come
Remember, so
back.
mean to me.
Just kidding.
Oh, so then they do a little prick of their hands, and this was a big thing in like 90s movies.
Blood
like
packs?
everyone, yeah, getting a little blood and then drinking it up. And they each drink to the thing that they like want to fix in their life.
Yeah.
So Rochelle's like, well, I want this lady to stop being
This
such a
racist
bitch.
asshole.
Yeah. And Sarah's like, I want Chris to like me.
Which is
Dumb.
crazy.
And that's
Crazy.
like, I wish I was beautiful outside and in, which
Okay.
you are. You're
Yeah.
very attractive.
Yeah, Jess goes,
Thanks,
don't
dude.
waste the blood.
Yeah.
Don't waste the cup.
There's
Wish
only so
something
much
else.
where that came from.
Yeah. You're already hot.
But she doesn't feel comfortable in her
Yeah,
body.
yeah.
I mean, then Nancy's just like, I want all the power. Like,
Yeah.
I want all the wishes.
Yeah.
She was like real quiet about it too. All the time, mother.
And they're like, that's all?
And she like guzzles it.
Yeah, she is
So
chugging
just-
it.
She's thirsty for the power.
That's nasty. A bunch of butterflies come and they're like, Manon sent them. It's probably like a children's party like next to them. So now we see the effects of each one of the girls' wishes. So we cut to school and Chris is staring at Sarah in like the back of the classroom, and Bonnie and Sarah are both like, oh, I wonder if it's working.
Yeah.
Then they leave class and like Chris is following them closely, and then he's like a little puppy dog with Sarah, just like, hey, how are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, we should hang out. Da, 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 da.
Yeah.
So clearly that's like working. We see Rochelle and Nancy see the spell work. Oh, sorry, yeah. Then we cut out to the house. They're all at a slumber party. They're hanging out and they're doing, this was another famous trailer
light is a
theme. The
feather,
light is a
stiff as a
feather. Stiff
board.
as- Did you guys do this?
I think I've done it once.
Did it
And I-
work?
It seemed like it did. But I
It's
do
working
think
now.
I do think it there's like a scientific explanation as to why it works. No one ever like floats, but like
No.
you do lift someone.
Yeah, you can pick somebody up a
Yeah.
little bit.
It's like I guess like they're like a tension in the muscles. Like the first time it doesn't work, and then the second time it does.
Wait, I've never seen it work. What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
How many people? Wow.
You might be.
Powers. Well,
Sorry.
that's why I picked it. Powers.
Surprise, you guys. Oh, wish.
I think we tried a lot and then it never really, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it never worked.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You just got straight up powers.
I do love the way they played this scene out because it is like very cute. Like they're all like really shocked and excited about it. And then Rochelle's like in the air, like it's not working, and realize it is.
Yeah.
And then the mom like is like
Interrupts.
like, whatever she's
Are you
doing.
guys getting high in there?
Oh yeah.
High up off the ground with our magic.
I think she's even like, I fell on my butt.
Yeah,
like they're
it's
just
really
like, cute
cute.
little teens. We have a
Poppy.
Ooh.
She's screaming. Don't scream. Come here.
I bind you, Poppy. Bind you from screaming out the window. We get a hanging out montage of doing lots of like witchy stuff. They're watching Bewitched. We get a true slow-mo walk down the hallway of all four
Yeah.
girls.
This is the classic
And
one.
the outfits are hitting.
Yeah.
And it's the one that the X-Men Evolution. Do you remember that version of the show? It's like a cartoon X-Men show that was from like early 2000s. But they like animated the characters are like in high school.
Oh, cool.
And they have them like animated like this shot.
That's cool.
And it's real fun. I'll show you.
I love
Poppy
that.
saw it.
It makes me think of the Jawbreaker one. I feel like that's the daddy do do do.
Oh
do.
yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
seen that in so long.
Oh, we saw that at the Academy Museum with the cast there.
It was really
it was
sick.
so good.
I'll rewatch it though.
Yeah.
As well. What's your favorite teen movie? Sorry, real quick.
I can't hardly wait.
Can't hardly wait.
That's a good one. I watched that one a lot. That
That's a
one's
good
really
one.
fun.
It's so good.
Yeah. It's fun. It's just a fun role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine is probably Clueless.
So this is great.
Clueless is
So good.
Yeah.
I can remember seeing it with my mom in the movie theater.
You were probably like 2 years old. Like, what are you talking about?
A lot of it went over my head.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. All
I
right,
think
sorry.
I didn't even know when they were called that one character gay. I was like, what does that mean? And look at me now.
And look at me.
Gay as hell.
We have Sarah plucking out some of our mean girl,
yeah.
Lizzie, Marsha Brady,
Christine Taylor.
Christine Taylor's hair. Then they're all hanging out. Sarah like tells Rochelle about it. That spell's going on. They talk about Sarah's picture of her mom, and she explained that she passed away, which obviously
In childbirth.
during childbirth.
Yeah.
Yes. And then a super sad scene. This movie's like really intense.
Yeah.
Bonnie is like rocking back and forth. Bonnie is the one with the scars, and just like begging Manon to take her scars away. And even Nancy, who's pretty desensitized to everyone else, is such a narcissist, is like, oh, this is really sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so intense.
I think Nancy does have a degree of like empathy for her, at least her friends.
Yeah.
But by the end, she certainly is treating them like cronies and is like telling them what to do and everything. But I think that I think in that moment you
It's
see
definitely a descent.
Yeah.
Madness, for sure.
I mean, she's asking for all the power too.
Yeah.
You know, she's
because she has none. She has no power.
Yes, that is true.
And then this new girl comes in, and she's like, "Look what I can do with the pencil."
Right. Yeah.
Trying.
Yeah.
And her friends are like, "She's the shit," and she's like, "Okay, well, shut the fuck up."
I introduce you to this fucking shit.
Yeah, yeah. Who's the one wearing that choker with the little points on it?
Listen to me. We cut back to the pool. Rochelle is about to dive again. Very similar setup. Lizzie is being a total bitch. But she takes off her swim cap because she had just gotten out of the pool,
Yeah.
Lizzie, and notices some hair coming out.
A
And
lot.
as she's touching it, all of the hair, is just like coming out of her head. She has
It's
huge
worse.
scabs. Because the LA water is hard too.
It is
So
hard.
that's also not
Yeah.
helping.
Yeah.
I've had days where I've got a big old hair coming out.
I was like, that's our shower drain.
Even the coach comes over and he's like, oh,
It's like,
shit.
fucked up. And then until he hears
The perfect dive in
Yeah,
the
Rochelle.
pool.
It's really the most beautiful dive.
Yeah.
She's so elegant.
Yeah.
no splash, he's
I mean-
like, varsity team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She doesn't need to be a witch.
No, she's
Yeah.
just talented already.
Yeah,
She should
she's got
focus on her
thing.
diving.
She could go to the Olympics.
Yeah. Well, she needed to like push this bitch off of her back to
Yeah.
just be like,
Mhm.
fuck off already so I can do my diving.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Nev is at the doctor's office and the doctor's like got a little cloth on her back, assuming like the scars, nothing will help. The treatment that they did isn't going to do
It's
anything.
very unlikely, yeah.
But they're able to just instantly wipe it away. And it
Yeah.
looks like just a bunch of Elmer's glue. And they've got like alcohol on the little
Yeah.
sponge.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, there you go.
A real good long.
What am I thinking of?
Just
Oh,
like a-
Gold Member. Thinking of Gold Member when he tears his skin off.
And then eats it.
Yeah.
And he like
Sorry.
pancakes and sausages. He had one too many things.
He had a lot
Can't
going on
have
here.
That character.
Well, by the third movie, I'm sure nobody was telling them no.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
How could you
Yeah.
after two masterpieces?
I wouldn't.
Flawless.
So everyone's amazed. They love it. Then, oh my God, this moment I loved. Then Bonnie comes into class, Nev Campbell, and she is like Miss Thing now. She has little knee-high stockings.
Yeah, like thigh highs, yeah.
And she has a jacket on that she kind of like whips off and just like, hello, boys.
Yeah, a little
and
scoop neck.
yeah.
It's cute.
She looks great.
If she, I would be like, class dismissed.
Yeah. She was wearing a fucking poncho the other day.
Yeah.
All the guys are like, oh, woo.
Brecken's like,
yeah, they've
Yeah.
never, because she looks pretty much the same. But
Yeah.
she's more confident.
They're like, no jacket.
no, whoa. Everybody's happy about their changes except Nancy, who hasn't gotten anything yet.
Yeah.
So Nancy kind of goes away upset. And Rochelle's like,
It's like everybody got their period except for her.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's
And
sad.
someone's like, what's up with Nancy? And Rochelle's like, I think she's tired of being white trash or something.
Yeah. And she has to
Like-
stop being white trash. And I told her, honey, you're white.
Deal with it.
Deal with it. Yeah.
Crazy.
So
Just,
funny.
Like points where we just ship really racially. All right.
For like a joke. It's like, this is just a little throwaway joke that we're gonna get to say.
Oh man.
But Nancy heads back to her house. Stepdad is hitting on her as she's like grabbing something in the fridge. Mom's microwaving something. Mom and dad are kind of fighting a little. That turns into like an altercation. He pushes mom to the couch.
Mhm.
Nancy screams, causing the microwave to like explode. There's fire. Stepdad gets a heart attack.
Yeah.
He like grabs his chest, and Nancy kind of gets a look like, yeah, well,
She's
good,
watching it. She's
yeah.
like, you fucking don't.
Yeah.
The paramedics come, he dies. The insurance man comes the next day and he's like, oh, he had a great pension. You're rich now. You're gonna get $175,000.
Yeah.
Which I mean that is a shit ton of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Not for Los
It-
Angeles.
It is a lot
living.
of money. I
When we see what they do with the
expected
money, it's
so
not.
much more.
Yes.
At the time in LA, I bet it was like,
Sure.
and them celebrating. I do love that part
Yeah.
of them celebrating.
When the
Yeah.
insurance guy tells
Yeah.
them how
And the
much
insurance guy's
they're
like,
laughing, they're
They're
hugging. The
just
insurance
like,
guy,
And
no,
you love
fresh
that for
comes
them.
better with life.
Like you just know that mom is going to spend that money horribly, and boy does she.
yeah, in
Yeah.
6 months that
Right.
money
Does
is
she?
gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Because now we're at their new penthouse in like a high rise downtown.
One
which-
beautiful
So
couch.
Nancy's not in the same school district. Oh yeah, so we see what she bought the money on. She's got like this trashy couch. She has a jukebox.
Excuse me. Beautiful couch.
Sorry, beautiful couch.
That can
she's
fit 2 people. It's a love scene.
Yeah.
It's a love
It's
scene.
like a very 90s, like stylized.
Oh my god.
It looks
yeah.
like it'd be in a Barnes and Noble or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a
Like-
coffee shop couch.
Like old episodes of Trading Spaces.
Beautiful.
Yes.
That's the kind of
Beautiful.
couch it is.
Gorgeous.
She's wearing pink satin, and then she's like, "You
Love
girls
that
want to
outfit.
hang?" And they're like, "No." They all go to the
Her
room.
Connie Francis jukebox is so funny.
Yes, yes.
She's like, listen and learn. And they're like, all leave. I love that part.
They do when they're in Nancy's room, they do another little candle circle, and they're showing off all different powers. So Sarah at first makes her eyes turn 2 different colors, and they're like, "That's not a big deal. Who cares?" So then another famous trailer scene, she grabs her hands, puts them through her hair, and makes her brunette hair blonde.
Blonde.
She looks so much like Meryl Streep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she does. I can
Yeah.
totally see that. And then when she wants it to go away, she like shakes it out again.
Yeah.
And I just thought that was incredible.
Yeah. I mean, the effects in this movie they hold up.
They look pretty good.
I think so
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
I mean, towards the end, we get a little crazy.
Some stuff gets a little crazy, but it's like overall.
Overall, it's like they hold, like the light of the feather, like that looks
Yeah.
great.
Oh
did
yeah.
look
Yeah.
good.
I think they're used like subtly too.
Mhm.
Like they're, spaced out, and so they have more of an impact when they happen too. It's just nonstop. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nancy asked for a smaller ass, which I don't know how that's possible.
Insane.
Invert my ass.
Make my ass
Small
my
butts.
pussy.
Yeah. Be able to eat cereal out of my ass.
So the girls seem like they're on top of the world right now. Like
Yeah.
everything's great, but now we're about to get the flip into things that are going to happen bad with each of their wishes. So now Skeet comes over. Chris, he's like obsessed with her. At 3 a.m, he wants to move in together, and she's basically like, "Get out of here! No,
Yeah.
no, no."
Love spell backfires.
Yes,
Mhm.
exactly. So Sarah goes to the witch store, and she's like, "Hey, can you help me like get rid of this?" And the woman who works there is basically like, it has to run its course, and magic isn't like good or bad. It's like nature. It's all of these things, and it's like the person who wields it and their intention kind of plays a lot into it. And what you put onto somebody else is going to come back to you threefold.
times.
Yeah. So
Mm.
do unto others. Nancy isn't paying attention to any of this. She's
Yeah.
going to grab the invocation book. She's like, "Okay, I'm ready to be all
That's
powerful."
a cool effect too in the movie when she
Yeah.
sees the picture moving. I was like,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah,
That
she
is
opens
really
up the
cool.
book, and inside there's like a little picture of a ship and some clouds and waves, and then it's able to like move, kind of like Harry Potter style.
Yeah, yeah.
And you see like a little lightning bolt hit.
It's so cool.
So that leads them to, Nancy has read this book. They're going to go down to a beach that's very similar to the one in that picture and do their invocation. This scene freaked the fuck out of me when I was a kid, when they're all on the beach and
Yeah.
they've got their arms in the air and they're like,
They each have a little animal.
Yeah.
Yes.
And the animal was killed in the
Yeah.
I
think
invoking the
so.
spirit.
It's
Yeah.
like they explode.
Yeah,
Yes.
the jars fucking burst.
Yeah.
there was a Nemo, a butterfly, a
Nemo.
bird, and a snake.
Yeah.
And Sarah and Nancy get into a talk about like when Sarah in the past had harmed herself, that she had seen bugs and snakes everywhere.
And you see Nancy clock it like,
Mhm.
Yeah, and Nancy's like, "Well, the serpent is powerful. You should respect it."
Mhm.
yeah.
And we will see that later. So they begin the ceremony. I remember this then, like calling, "Hail the guardians of the watchtower," and then they had like north, south, east, and west.
Yeah.
The lightning.
And Nancy also says, "Hear me," and
Yeah.
then is corrected, "Hear us," and then
Yes.
everybody else says, "Hear us." So they're like fun parts.
Yeah, she wants that power.
She wants it. She's greedy for power.
Greedy.
The storms are brewing. Ooh, the lightning strikes and it hits Nancy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They wake up on the beach the next day. All the girls are staring out into the ocean, and Nancy's like walking on the water towards them, like,
Yeah.
"Hey guys, you
Sorry,
blessed
right?
me."
I feel it.
Yeah.
Very biblical.
Yeah, yeah.
She's Jesus.
She's Jesus.
She can feel him running through his veins. They see on the other side of the beach, I had totally forgotten this part, just a line of dead sharks.
Yeah, like beached sharks.
Yeah.
They're like
full variety because there were like 2 hammerheads.
It was like a little like pack, like if you were to buy like a kit of all different sharks, there was like a line of each one.
Get some sharks.
Yeah.
Sure.
And she runs over.
Prop department.
This is a gift. I love this.
And
It's like I feel
reading it like these other people aren't right by them.
They're like, it's LA. This is like the
true. They are.
yeah, there's half of this shit that you like
in Santa Monica. Yeah, this gotta happen.
Yeah.
Sarah, as this is all happening, is getting a face of kind of like, oh shit, like maybe this has gone too far. They drive in their convertible. Nancy's driving to like leave, and Sarah's kind of like trying to call out, like, are we going too far? She calls Bonnie a narcissist, like she's just so full of herself now. Which I think is a little,
it's a reach.
Yeah, it's a reach.
It's just that they've all they're taking it for granted and they're not respecting the power.
Yeah. Nancy's the one who's really like, as Nancy's driving, she's like going through red lights or like each time it's just turning red. One time like a car does swerve out. They're pushing it.
And to be fair, Rochelle didn't do the spell at all.
Yeah.
Like, Rochelle didn't do anything. She was just like, hey.
Yeah.
She kind of had nothing to say to Rochelle.
Yeah.
She was like, Rochelle, you're fully justified, and I think she learned her lesson.
We go to the shower in the girls' locker room, and there's clumps of hair, like a little line of like breadcrumbs, but it's hair clumps. And we see Marcia is there with the whole top of her head is missing hair, and Corinne said, like Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin.
She
did. That was exactly what she looked like. She's like, oh, Benjamin Franklin.
And she's just crying, weeping that her hair is gone.
And she says, what did I do to deserve this?
Yeah.
It's like, this is the most fitting punishment.
You were just blatantly racist.
Yeah, you mean your blatant racism?
Yeah.
But Rochelle does seem affected, and she goes to look into a mirror, but her reflection doesn't look back. It like looks the same.
Doesn't. Ready? You and me do it right now. She does like she's like,
oh wait, no. Okay, the opposite. Of
yeah.
Are you gonna do it?
All right, ready?
1, 2, 3.
I can feel you.
No, you did it. You did it right.
Okay. So it was just like
I was about to,
and it took me a while to register that. Like I made them rewind it because I was like, wait, what is scary
everything
about
was fine.
this moment?
What? Your reflection doesn't look away from you in the mirror? Really normal to you.
It felt really normal. I was like, yeah, no, they're looking the right. Right. Yeah,
we do need to go back to church.
Skeet, what's his name? Chris is calling Sarah, trying to convince her to have dinner. She's a little hesitant, but she finally is like, okay, whatever, let's go.
Yeah.
Instead of taking her to dinner, he takes her on this car ride to like a lover's lane type place. She's even like, are we gonna go eat? What's the deal? He's coming onto her really strong, and she's like, do you ever question why you like me so much? I think like you're a little obsessed. Maybe we should back this off a bit. He is like forcing himself on her a little, so she leaves.
She says, take me home. He says, no.
Yeah.
She says, I'm fucking out of here, and then goes to leave, and then he fully is like trying to rape her, basically.
Yeah.
And there's nothing more disturbing to me in rape scenes than the sound of a belt buckle being undone.
Oh, no.
And it's like so visceral.
It's horrible.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's very hard to watch for sure.
Yeah.
Luckily, she kicks him right in the nuts.
Yeah.
And runs off.
Falls back. She runs. Yeah.
She shows up at Rochelle's house, all like covered in dirt.
Fucked up.
Rochelle's family has money. Clearly.
Yeah, they all.
I guess this school can't be cheap.
Yeah.
Nancy's on a scholarship.
For
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, now she doesn't need it.
Yeah.
She got that 175.
Yeah. Well, that's the sad thing. She's disqualified from her scholarship. Her income, her tax.
Oh no! That's the comeback threefold.
Yeah.
All the girls are at the house. I don't know if they were there or called over, but Sarah's retelling the story of what just happened with Chris, and Nancy gets like enraged by it. I think less because of that she cares about Sarah, and more just like this guy pisses her off.
Yeah.
And she's all powerful now, and now she's like, I'm gonna
fuck with him.
Yeah, I'm gonna fuck with him big time. They know he's at a party, so Nancy runs off to go there. The girls like pursue a little bit afterwards, but Nancy gets there first, finds Chris. They go up to a bedroom together. She's trying to seduce him, and Chris is like, no, no, no. So Nancy uses the power that we saw earlier to like make her
Like
face
glamour.
into Sarah's face.
Yeah.
And now Chris is all down for it. So they're smooching, hooking up. The girl, and the party, you said everyone looked like an accountant.
Yeah.
Shirts tucked in.
Yeah. Shirts tucked in at a party. They're all just drinking.
So when Nancy
and then
busts
Nancy walks in.
yeah.
I mean, and that's the foil. It's like the thing to like really make Nancy pop.
Yeah, she
Her hair
is looking,
awesome.
yes.
She looks
Yeah.
great.
And like a long black like dress. Like
Yeah.
she's full out, less schoolgirl and more just straight up witch at this point.
Yeah.
The girls rush into the party. Sarah goes upstairs, tries to call this all off, but Nancy is now like too far gone. And she has an incredible speech of just like telling this guy to fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like, you don't even exist to me.
Yeah.
And like her toes are like skidding across the floor. She's like half floating towards him and just screaming at him. It's so good. And just her power. You're sorry. Yeah, you're sorry. You're sorry. And
She's
then
so
the
good.
wind gushes and it blows him out the
window.
Yeah, which I don't even think was effects. I think she just did that with that power.
Yeah, she physically, just the actress.
The acting.
Just
Yeah.
the acting.
So powerful.
So Pete Ulrich did die. But Chris does die. They were in the second floor, so he falls out. Chris passes away. Sarah's at home now. She's really upset. She's like telling her dad, like, I didn't want him to get hurt. I liked him, which was kind of
Get over it.
strange.
Bitch. Yeah, come on now.
So she kind of decides, like, she goes out to the woods. She has a picture of all the friends. She rips off Nancy from the picture and she's binding her. And she says, I bind you, Nancy, from doing harm to like others
and yourself.
and yourself. Yeah. Which is nice
I think that's
to
great.
include yourself as well. That night as she's dreaming, she has a dream that the witches, all three of the other girls, fly through the window at her, and which is so cool.
Yeah.
It's like Hocus Pocus
Very like
style.
Hocus Pocus.
Yeah. But they're strangling her and like trying to kill her. At school the next day, she's like in the bathroom crying, upset about this. The girls are outside the stall waiting for her and essentially are like, we, know that you were trying to bind me. We are visiting you in your dreams. Yeah.
Watch your fucking back.
Because they don't want her talking about Chris or saying what happened there. Like the cops went to all their houses and they're essentially like, if you
Yeah.
She even tells her, I think, like back in the day, like witches would kill another witch who betrayed their coven. So they're threatening her. They're not being very nice.
Yeah.
Not very nice at all.
Tough.
Sarah goes to the witch shop and she's like explaining everything to the owner that these other witches are after her.
She's now in a white billowy dress.
Yes. Accent still, who knows where she's from.
Still the same amount.
Vague. Yeah.
Maybe
like,
more flames.
More flames. She was upstairs and the candles were on downstairs.
Like, sorry, I ran out of matches.
She takes her to a curtain, opens it up, and she's like, this is my temple. It's just a back room with like neon, black light.
Yeah, I smoked doobies back then.
And then there's a pentagram, but it's made out of like iridescent stone.
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
But
cool.
she's like, this temple is built on a sacred land. It's like Sunset and
Yeah.
fucking Gower or some shit.
We
It's like,
definitely
that's
recognize,
fortunate.
yeah, the exterior. There's a pet hotel where I believe this neon temple is located
Really lucky
now.
that the sacred temple was also a pretty good affordable rent for my business. It all worked out great.
My candle witch book business.
Yeah.
Which back then I don't know if it was booming. Now
Oh yeah, for sure.
she could buy 20 temples.
Yeah.
So she takes her to this back room. She's like, your mom was a witch. You need to embrace this and call in Manon.
Manon.
And and she's like, no, I can't. Like, he's evil. And she's like, again, I already told you this, but I'll tell you again. It's not good or evil. It's like what you bring to the table. And through you can help like defeat these gals. They are about to do their little ceremony when the shop seems to have an explosion and we hear like laughter from the girls. It's not real, it's a glamour. But she's freaked out enough to run.
But it could have been
But it
real.
could
The
have been.
amount of fire in
Yeah.
that fucking place. I would not be surprised.
If the
if it
window
went up.
opened slightly.
Oh my god.
It's like, I'm calling the fire marshal.
She runs down the alley and then she runs to her house. Yeah,
The
boobs.
way she's running is so insane because, like, she has a bag. She holds the bag out here.
Yeah.
And then, like, her sweater is off and her breasts are just, hello.
Yeah.
And just, she's leading with her breasts down an alley in Los Angeles. And it doesn't make sense.
I mean, that felt very like horror movie to me. I enjoyed that.
I think
liked
even if
that.
it was a horror movie and I had to run, I'd be like,
I'm not wearing the right bra.
I hope I'm wearing a sports bra. I know.
My back.
Ow, my back.
Yeah, you think
Just
it's sad,
kill me.
but it's
Also-
just the bra.
Also, just because I'm a little asshole, she ran all the way to the hills.
Yeah.
She did.
She ran 40 minutes uphill.
In a white shirt, no pit stains.
It's a hike.
Not a pit
No
stain,
pit
I'm
stains.
saying.
And you know it's humid because it's been raining.
And her hair, which we now know is a wig,
Yeah.
still perfect.
Stunning
Oh.
wig.
And she did this in a
She
pair
gets home and
of
she's like-
Mary Jane's.
Well, she does get home.
Mhm.
She sees a note on the table, or like her dad's explanation of a flight that he went on. I guess that just a
Yeah.
random trip to San Fran. And then she gets a call and it's Nancy and she's like, oh, it's so terrible. Something bad happened. Turned on the TV. She turns on her giant box television in like such a classic, like where you keep your TV console.
Yeah, we were saying how gorgeous this like 90s Tuscan
Oh,
house
yeah.
was. Beautiful.
And on the TV, there was a flight that crashed, and it was, of course, the father's flight.
And
She's-
stepmom.
Oh, and the
Yeah,
step.
let's not
Okay,
forget the step.
all
Jenny.
right.
She had a line and she had a name.
Yeah.
She did. And
Jenny.
she's
She's getting royalties
yeah.
to this day. Bless her heart.
She
Manon, bless her.
Manon,
Keep
bless.
going.
Oh no, you're good. So she's freaked. She's running around the house trying to escape, but now this part is so awful. There's like bugs and snakes everywhere.
Yeah.
She tries to go down the steps. They're just covered in snakes.
You guys don't
She
like
goes-
snakes?
I don't mind
No.
the snakes. I don't
It's
mind
the
snakes.
bugs.
It was the cockroaches.
The
And it
cockroaches.
was
Well,
Maggots.
being in the bathroom in
oh
particular.
god.
Being in a toilet, because I used to have a fear that a snake was going to come out of the toilet
And go up your
my
butt. Sure. Oh, and there's also like a scorpion on her toothbrush.
Yeah.
Would have hated that.
Scorpions- I mean, I would have hated it too. Scorpions didn't bother me as much as
I'm
cockroaches
scared of a
and the
scorpion though.
maggots. Well, sure.
A scorpion's probably actually the scariest.
For
It's
sure.
gonna-
Can
Yeah.
it kill you? Yes.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing, you'll
It knocks your ass out.
knock you right out.
Like,
And that's why I don't play
I
that
don't-
scary game, that horror game.
yeah.
It's
Some
the
things are
only
just
thing
too
in that
much.
game that can take you
Too
out.
scary.
And then she's kind of like crying in the shower. Nancy just pops out of nowhere. It's like, gotcha.
Sure is.
And essentially
Something like that.
implies like that they want her to harm herself this evening, that
Yeah.
they want her to end her life.
A cool scene where they're floating too in the living room.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all end up down in the living room.
It's such an insane level of bullying. Like,
Yeah.
she literally says, "Wow, you're so pathetic. You should probably kill yourself."
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god.
But that feels like at that point, probably.
Yeah.
Like you know,
Yeah.
girls
back in
meet.
the 90s.
The 90s.
They were a different time.
They're saying they're gonna pin all of the deaths on her. And then Nancy takes out a knife and slits Sarah's wrists.
Oh god.
The
Sarah-
wrong way.
Yeah.
Wrong way.
The-
But
I
gets them
mean,
both in one.
Yeah. Oh, so awful.
It's bad.
She runs up to her room. She asks her mom, the picture, what to do.
Kinda. She sort of falls down on the ground and is like, time to die. And then she's like, wait, I have to invoke the spirit. And the
Yeah.
mom's like,
Well, no, because the picture comes to life Harry Potter
yeah,
style,
yeah.
and
it
she's
says,
like,
you
"That's what you
reach
gotta do.
inside you.
Yeah.
Reach inside you."
And put on this hat.
And
that I'm
here's a
wearing.
hat. I see you wear my ring, but not my hat. I left it for you.
Honestly, this hat works.
This is a magic
No one
hat.
knows that this hat, one, it works with every outfit and it works magically.
And it works magic.
It makes it so no one can do anything bad to you ever. And you did wear that hat. And now
And now we have a movie on our hands.
We got a whole movie.
Okay.
The girls are waiting downstairs, and now Nancy's kind of bullying everybody.
Yeah.
She's like, Rochelle, go up there and like
Sure.
make sure that the job's done.
Mhm.
And Rochelle kind of doesn't want to. Bonnie grabs her and is like, okay, let's like not piss Nancy off and just go up there. As they go up, Sarah is slowly starting to like murmur a little bit, invoking Manon, and is like, let them see the truth. And they look in the mirror. Bonnie now has burns on her face.
Yeah, times 3.
And Rochelle is
losing her hair.
now Benjamin Franklin.
Yeah. Benjamin
Another
Franklin
fact
times
there.
3.
Not really times 3. It was like the same amount.
Yeah.
But awful.
It
was
was
bad.
That scene is the one that I remember the most. I think that's the scene
Oh,
that
wow.
I'm
Really?
scared of, because I think it was just like how much she was burned,
Yeah.
and then also losing your hair like that. Ugh.
And especially too, I think to like a teen girl and to the audience that would have seen this.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the girls are freaked out. They just run out. They've had enough of this. This is when Sarah talks to the picture and she's like, come on, just do it, girl. Evoke Amon. And she's like,
Manon.
Amon.
Invoking Mon, the fashion
Yeah.
model.
Honestly,
Yeah.
if anyone has powers.
She would save them.
The picture now, she's like doing that. Just the whole watchtower thing that they were saying before.
Yeah.
The clouds, you can like see them in picture frames. Nancy's been waiting downstairs, so now she's coming up in the most like evil way you can in the 90s, where you're like down a hallway,
Yeah.
holding both
A
of the
knife.
walls, and
Yeah.
just kind of like
Dragging a
slicing.
knife.
Yeah,
Very Joker before the Joker.
Yeah.
Like when Joker got very freaky, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Good laughing. She goes up to the stairs. But Sarah's not there now. When she gets to the room that Sarah was in, she's looking around for her, calling her out. Nancy's back is to the mirror. Then we see the mirror reflection turn around, and it is Sarah, and she goes and grabs Nancy, and like a battle between the two of them begin.
Another really good effect that I was
Yeah.
like, not bad.
It looks
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
They have and Sarah's basically like, Manon is with me now. He's so pissed at you, and you are in big trouble. And then a bug comes out of her head,
God.
which would really bother me.
Oh yeah. Her fingers turn to snakes
Her
too.
fingers turn to snakes. She goes to the
Honestly,
ground.
I'll take that over the cockroaches.
The bugs in your mouth.
Oh,
That's bad.
oh.
I wouldn't
Give
want
me,
snakes.
give me snake fingers.
If she can do this.
You know, I'll take the snake fingers.
Oh, I do love this line. Nancy's, trying to like reason with Sarah, like, don't, kill me right now. And she's like, I know I'm a little crazy.
I'm a little crazy.
She's trying to like apologize. And Sarah's like, okay, but I got to bind you first. So she starts the, I bind you, Nancy, and Nancy's like, no, wait. I still want to do witchcraft to be a crazy, lady. So yeah, she grabs the knife that she had earlier, and just that part was really scary because
Yeah.
it's kind of like out of nowhere, and then
Like,
just like floats towards Sarah, ending up pushing them both like against a wall.
That's a really cool
Yeah.
effect, like where they fall into the
Oh
wall.
yeah, and frantically like stabbing at her, screaming, laughing.
bitch slapping her.
Yeah.
Laughing, right.
Oh yeah, that's
Bitch
wild.
slapping her. Yeah. She was. And she was just going.
A dresser comes floating towards them. Nancy gets out of the way just in time, but it smashes into Sarah. Nancy's like, "Oh my god, I think that she's dead." She pushes the dresser back and sees just like the raptured clothes of Sarah left behind. But she knows, she like holds the knife up,
Yeah.
and then
She's
last
like,
minute, the body of Sarah like comes to life through the clothes. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was great.
I would have thought to stab the clothes.
Yeah. Where they like fill the clothes.
Sarah kicks Nancy into the mirror.
The mirror shatters.
Yes,
And then
metaphorically.
Yeah.
That's where I was like, that's too much.
Yeah.
You did say this ending is becoming a music video.
Yeah, it feels very like they were like, just crank it up. This is our effects budget.
Yeah.
We cut to Sarah is unpacking the car in the morning. Rochelle and Bonnie are outside.
They have the nerve to show up to her house.
In the worst outfit of the whole film.
Oh my god.
Bonnie, at least.
Bonnie,
Rochelle
that's what I
was
said.
fine.
Every outfit but Bonnie's
She's in
outfit.
like a
right
ringling circus, like some kind of.
The sleeves are like just the fingertips are poking out. It's like a Kohl's shiny
up to the
shirt.
neck.
Satin and pinstriped black and like plum.
Yeah.
Like a plum. Yeah.
It's very unfortunate because she couldn't be more gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you're pretty doesn't mean you know how to dress.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's really the moral.
You should
ask them up for some fashion. Every other outfit they wear is great.
Bonnie and Rochelle are like, "Oh, like we're sorry, but do you still have powers? Do you like still want to hang out?" And Sarah's just kind of not feeling them anymore.
Yeah,
she's not
like,
fully me, but she's like, "No, and they're like, whatever. They walk away and are kind of whispering, like, "Oh, I bet she was in." Yeah. She's like, "What? Excuse me?" And then she has the clouds get all cranky, a lightning bolt strike. The clouds are very cranky now. And they're like, "Oh God, okay, you do." And then they do explain that the father's still alive.
Yeah, they show the dad's like, "Hi, girls."
They're even like, "Oh, just so you know, that was a glamour." She's like, "Yeah, my dad's right there. I know he's not dead. Thank you."
That was a little prank.
Thanks.
Funny.
Yeah.
And she has a tree fall on them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
a big ass branch.
The lightning strikes,
and she's like,
"Yeah,
teehee."
She's
check
like,
out.
What?
Oh, I have no powers.
Yeah, I'll show you.
And then our girl Nancy, in classic 90s, you couldn't be a horror movie without an insane asylum scene.
Yeah.
She is, open up the little portal of the door. She's inside, scars all over her face, tied down, which in the context of now is very upsetting to see. Like a young woman.
Yeah, it's horrific.
Yeah.
She's screaming, "I'm flying, I'm flying."
Yeah.
And that is how we end the film.
I mean, she did get a binding spell, and I guess the only way to bind her from doing that is to literally.
Yeah, she's like physical.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, fucked up.
I didn't even think of that. Wow.
Fucked up.
It is really
she's got to get some treatment.
Yeah.
Now it would be.
I do think that is like the whole thing about it, because like the when she initially did that binding thing, it was white ribbon.
Yeah.
Almost like a straight jacket.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah.
You did say it was called The Craft because of how many times they had to go to Michael's.
Yeah, they go to the craft store to get all this ribbon.
Yeah. The gems, the ribbon,
the butterflies.
The butterflies. They're like, that should have been the store they were going to.
Yeah.
Which place? They're at the Michael's and coupons.
They're like, we are banned from the PetSmart. They heard what happened to the bird.
That is it. That's The Craft.
Yeah. Amazing.
So we'll do a little rating, 1 to 5, we'll say, as far as scariness, and then as far as just how quality of film, how good of a film do we think it is, Corin?
Scariness, I would do like 2.75. on the spooky scale.
Mhm.
And as far as like overall film, 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's my rating.
I would say pretty much. Yeah. I think it would be, it's of its time. I think the
Mhm.
ending, I would love it if the boys became the main adversary at the end and the
Mhm.
girls like figure it out.
Mhm.
I would love for Nancy not to go to an insane asylum
Yeah.
and for the girls to kind of like I get like too, it's like, oh, teenage friendships don't always last and you
Mhm.
don't like people do have falling outs and you don't continue to be friends,
Mhm.
especially as like teenagers. But I think
In high school, you can just feel so out of control, and these girls like want to be in control of these things.
that's
that are,
when
like,
it's the most fun is
Yeah.
when they are all together having the most fun and
Mhm.
like kind of reveling in this new power.
Yeah.
And I almost if it had ended with something like that where they work it out and maybe
Let's work it out.
they don't have to like murder Chris necessarily, but if the boys like somehow became, I mean, and I'm talking like earlier on, like they wouldn't reach a point where it's like, oh, you should kill yourself.
I almost like it that like the boys weren't a big part of it. I mean, Chris was, but he was made into a little bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think like for just like women existing as women, I kind of thought it was a little powerful in that way. It's
That's
like,
a good point.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, we never want to see a teenage girl bound in any asylum.
Yeah.
But like, she was a bad person.
That's
and
true.
Like, she needed to pay in some way, and I'm glad she's not dead.
I would say similarly. I think like scariness wise, I guess more it's like the psychological shit where it's like, oh, it is a shame to fall out with a friend that you're close with, especially if you're like a person like in that high school where you're like only feel a connection to a small group of people and then you're like isolated even from that group. But I guess that's sort of like the coming of age thing is like going through that and being like, okay, life's fine. And I'm going to make like other friends or something like that.
I have my dad still.
I got my dad. He's, and Jenny's fine.
Jenny's great.
She's, nice lady.
Just
not gonna call her mom, but
she's call her mom.
she's nice. So I guess scariness like a 2.5. It's more just like the concepts of it, and I guess the bugs are gross too. Like a bowl of maggots spilling over, isn't for me. I don't mind snakes, but
yeah.
You don't like snakes at all.
Oh wait, how about quality of film?
I love it. I love it. I think it's like I think it's like a 4.5.
Oh wow.
I really like this movie.
Scary wise, I'd say like a 2. I do think like just an unhinged person, and she plays it so well and so convincingly, who could just do anything at any time, is very scary.
Yeah.
And can kind of be your friend in one moment and then like torture you in the next. I always want to like this movie more than I do. Like I love anything that has like a bunch of girls and it has like witchy stuff and horror, but I think it is tonally just too, and just for me, a little too like serious and not as like fun and campy as I usually like.
Definitely do it.
So it's I'd probably give it like a 3.
I think there's
It's
some
not
funny jokes in this.
I think there's some great lines.
Yeah.
Especially it's really as Nancy for me as the movie. And I think everyone else, not that they do a bad job, but they just don't rise to like what she's doing.
I don't think any of the other girls have a strong personality.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're definitely not.
They're all like a little meek and cute and
Yeah.
And she's just such a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Her and her mom steal the whole movie.
Yeah, and her mom. Yeah.
But I loved watching you with you two.
Yeah, it was great.
Thank you for coming on our movie date. Where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Instagram at charity_Corin and at UCB sometimes.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you all for being here.
Say bye, puppy.
Bye.
Puppy.
Yay.
Yay.